On part 3 of this manuscript, I will be adding more structures to my argument as to why the aspect of the XYZ coordinate plane, as a structure, of our universe is so lame. Other than the fact that the geometric aspects / XYZ coordinates are just measurements and positioning and not a fundamental structure of the workings of the universe, in order to transition your belief, we have to look at the way energy behaves, since energy is a fundamental structure of the universe. Energy needs space to function as a structure of the universe. This fact gives my theory of space as an entire dimension all on its own a good threshold. Energy is a sporadic thing that shoots in the same direction of higher energies until it dissipates. When it is not given the space to move, the energy bounces around and runs into itself and accumulates until it shoots in a direction where the energy can move freely. For this reason, energy can't exist in the first and second dimension, therefore it can't morph or clash with other energies to make the things we know in our 3D world. Energy will always be the same everywhere and in every dimension. Have you ever seen that shit? Look at a plasma ball. Energy obviously needs space to function. Atoms vibrate in literally every direction, hella hundreds of times throughout the space of its existence. What would possibly keep that shit from turning into a monstrosity like ST218 and tearing itself off the linear plane, that is the second dimension, to finally experiencing its true behavior as pure energy? The geometric perception of our universe is stupid. Giving people tests based on incorrect information will only encourage the same thoughts, especially if they are causing parts of the reward system to reinforce those same thoughts. By labeling it as something difficult, further enforcing egotistical status, above logic. The only reason people think something can exist in a 2D realm is because they aren't thinking any further past what they are being told. Ha ha ha, I hope you are all on the verge of a mental breakdown. I will single-handedly dismantle the scientific community. I didn't get a degree in physics or shit. Do you really think that copying and pasting information is what make you smart? I will have a video on cognition, redefining the concept of stupidity. You are all 2% away from an apes. But not I. The second dimension does not exist as a construct of the universe. Much less that one single dot of the first dimension. How can anything, alive or abiotic, commit to all its bodily functions and exist without the space to conduct its abilities? I deem the possibility of an existing 2D flat world or a one-dimensional world to be completely and utterly preposterous. Moving on. The fourth dimensional cube, the tesseract. At some point during 2010 to 2018 there was a stir about a 4D cube. The tesseract is a cube, where each face of that cube is cubed. I will say that again, this mystery shape is a 3D cube where each of its faces has another cube on it. So, a cube has 6 faces. Each of those 6 faces has an additional cube, just as a cube is made of a bunch of 2D squares. Then imagine it spinning around on random axes. I think that is very possible to imagine, don't you? Ridiculous way for anything to exist in the universe, because of how energy behaves, but just stay with me. Whatever laws that exist in this fourth dimensional realm, regardless of how they work in our third dimension, are applied to said faces. The first problem I see is that this fourth dimension is said to be unfathomable because we are in our three-dimensional world with our own laws of physics. But I think you can imagine these 4D shapes. It sounds like you just need to mirror the logic for what we know about the relationship with the second and third dimension. Another plot hole with the fourth dimension is that it must be structured by the third. Just as it is with the 3D cube being made of 2D squares, that is not the case for the third since the 3D world had its own genesis. This is what we know as the Big Bang. It will exist on its own. Therefore there is no connection between my 3D existence and any potential 4D existence of me. If there is, the laws of physics in the fourth dimension should also be able to apply some properties that link to our third dimension, or it wouldn't exist properly. Anomalies would be more concurrent since the third and fourth dimensions have such a close relationship with each other, since its existence is based on mine, unlike the third dimension which can exist all on its own because of energy, and its dirt nasty behavior. Maybe these anomalies are white holes? Ha. You know I'm making a video on that. Megablities. Ha, sounds like I'm hinting at an OF account. Maybe these anomalies are Bermuda Triangle stuff. Possibly? Where does this extra mass come from in the four-dimensional existence? Or the momentum to carry out its spins and such? I guess it all just pops up and rotates to expend its extra-dimensional energy. Sounds bogus. The universe is sporadic as it is. Does that mean the universe was able to align itself with the third dimension to create a fourth-dimensional existence of Philo? Pete? How do you know this dimension exists? You don't. The idea of four dimensions should only exist as a way to expand the mind to think past basic geometry. And only geometry. The XYZ coordinates as a construct of the universe is fiction, and it only exists as positioning and measurements of objects in our three-dimensional existence. To fully grasp the fundamental structures of the universe, one must understand that the perception of the universe is determined by light, energy. These are atoms, elementary particles, frequencies, and any other derivative of energy. I am the greatest.